Am I the asshole for calling my mum's fiance a creep? I'm male 17. We had been going through pretty rough months in my family. There was tension between my mum and dad. They weren't talking to each other, and when they did, it was only to fight. After months of constant fighting, they decided to get divorced. That was 2 years ago. And I'm not gonna lie, when they divorced, the one who suffered the most was my dad. He never put on a sad face when he was with us, but I could hear him cry in his room when he thought we were asleep. For the record, I am the youngest, and I have a brother, 19 male, and a sister, 20 female. After this, the fighting didn't stop, so now they fight for which of us loves them more. If I'm honest, my siblings and I are inclined with my dad. He has always taken good care of us, helps us through everything, and he listens to us. Not like my mum. She has never been there. There have always been more important things to attend to or pay attention to rather than us. I never mind it since my dad was always there. My mum is a pretty important lawyer in our city, meanwhile my dad has a PhD in physics and works as a college professor. After their divorce, we stayed with my dad. We see my mum like 1 day per week and only if she has time. We kinda never see her because she always reschedules. So months ago, my mum told us she was going to get married to this dude who we had never seen. His name is Richard, but asked us to call him Rick. She said we should all get along. Since then, it has been a nightmare. Don't get me wrong, he is cool I guess, but I do find him a bit odd. He always tries to spend time with me and buys me stuff like clothes, books, etc. He even asks me when I'm available so we can have dinner. I mean, I'm polite towards him, but I just can't connect with him. I feel like it's a forced relationship, and he's not like that with my other siblings. Well, my dad too. He's civil towards him, but there is definitely tension between them. Last week, my brother wanted to try a new recipe, as he loves cooking, so he invited my mum and Rick. At first, we were surprised my mum and dad kept civil with each other, and we were having a nice conversation, but Rick kept complimenting us. Specifically me, that I was an incredible person, very smart, blah blah. My dad agreed, but this dude kept insisting that we were so much alike, and that by spending so much time with him, he considers me already his son. That definitely hurt my dad, and I just lose it. I told him to leave me alone, he was being a creep. My dad told me to not call Rick names, and my mum did too. She told me that I was being a brat and that I should behave because Rick will be a part of my family and another parental figure to me. I said he wouldn't and that I won't go to her wedding if she marries a creep like him. I stormed off and went to my room. My siblings don't think that I'm in the wrong here, but my mum insists that I'm a spoiled brat and I should apologize to Rick. Am I the asshole? And now in the comments, not the asshole. If you're getting creep vibes off of him, trust your gut. Be polite, but keep your distance and never be alone with him. No assholes here. It sounds like Rick is trying too hard to connect with you. He needs to chill and stop trying to force it. You were wrong to lash out, but he was wrong to imply that he'd be your father since you were almost an adult and you already have a father. Ultimately, Rick is the adult, so if anyone is the asshole, it is him. It sounds like your parents, Rick, and you should sit down and establish some boundaries for your relationship. You should try to give Rick a chance if he is willing to back off and be reasonable about how long it takes to build a relationship. Not the asshole. Rick is being creepy towards you, and there must be a reason. Just prepare yourself emotionally for a potential bombshell down the road. Not the asshole. Rick sounds massively creepy to me. If he's trying to impress future stepkids, you'd think he'd be equally creepy with them. He had no right to say he feels like a second dad, especially when you already have a dad who, even worse, was sitting right there. And when you did not give him any indication you want that, I would have a less angry convo with him, just your mum, and tell her you were happy for her that she found someone new, but you're an adult now, and while you will remain civil with Rick, she needs to know that he can't replace your dad and to stop trying. I can't help but wonder if your mum is secretly pushing this to hurt your dad. And now back up to the post, there is a note. Damn, I only came here to find out if I was in the wrong. I just don't know what to say to you. I added the quotation marks to be sarcastic since I don't think that we look so alike as he says. Now you really have me worried and wondering. Note 2. So I didn't want to address this with my dad right away, so I consulted Anne first, my sister. She is the most intelligent person I know, so I asked her. She had the same feeling as me, that Rick was getting way too close to me, and in comparison to her, he is stone cold. Now every time Rick wants to spend time with me, they'll be there too, Anne and Leo, my brother. And just like you guys, she asked me to talk to my dad. I did. I sat with my dad and told him about everything, that I didn't feel comfortable around Rick anymore. I appreciated all the effort, but he was pushing way too hard against my boundaries. And, like you advised, if Mum doesn't understand, she can't force a relationship with an actual stranger on me, and I'd rather stop seeing her. My dad understood. He asked me to forgive him for not knowing my feelings towards Rick. He did say that Rick is trying his best he can to get to know each one of us, but he has no say on when we should open up or act like a stalker. He said he'll talk to them, but I told him I'd rather do it since Mum may act like I'm not being serious or worse. We will have dinner with them, Anne, Leo, and I, next Wednesday, so wish me luck. And now on to the update. Hi, so this has been a wild week, and I wanted to thank you for your comments and suggestions. They really helped me through this. As I said in my last edit, we went to dinner. At first everything was silent, but then Anne broke the ice by thanking my mum and Rick for spending time with us, and that we should discuss important matters. I didn't know about this, but my mum has been awful to Anne and Leo this week. They addressed that if she wants us to be a part of her life, then some changes should be made. After they established their points, it was my turn. I started by stating Rick's presence has been bothering me since day one. Even if I should have said something about it, it didn't justify his behavior. I appreciate the effort, but he has crossed my boundaries, and even if I'm willing to have a relationship as friends with him, I'd not offer that option anymore if he continues this way. Also, I'll soon be an adult, so I don't need a parental figure, as I already have one. I then pointed out that my mum was allowing this kind of behavior, and it is wrong. If she's not willing to act as a parent and understand my feelings, not only mine, but my siblings too, then we'd rather cut our losses. My mum tried to justify her actions. Rick told her to shut up and listen to us. She stormed out of the restaurant, but he stayed. He looked sad and apologized for all of this. He didn't mean for this to happen. He asked Anne and Leo if they could give us some space so he and I could talk. Leo grabbed me, but Anne gave him a look, so he let go of me and went to a close table. Rick apologized again, saying he's not like that, and the feeling he might not connect with me took out the best of him. He then told me that he's my bio dad. My mum was supposed to tell me today, but she cowardly left. He doesn't expect me to accept him in my life, but if I ever want to know him or need anything, he will always be there. When we went back home, I asked my dad and he hugged me and told me everything he knew about it. The thing is, they don't know. The reason my parents divorced was because my mum cheated on him, and after she broke up with Rick, she was pregnant with me. My dad suspected it, but never confirmed it. When they divorced, my mum, out of rage, told him that I wasn't his son, and then Rick contacted him to talk about it. He told me that, however I feel, it is okay. I shouldn't feel pressured to act in a certain way. If I want to get tested, he'll help me, and no matter what the paper says, his love for me won't change. I will always be his son. I'm not sure how to feel, but I asked Rick to give me some space so I could think about all of this. I also asked my dad if we could just simply be out of our mum's life. I don't want to be involved with her, and neither do my siblings. If I'm honest, I don't know if I ever want to get tested, or at the least allow Rick to be a part of my life. But I feel grateful for the family that I do have, and all the support and love my dad and siblings have been giving to me. That's all I have for you. And now in the comments, thanks for the update. That must be a complete head fart for you. I don't know what else to say other than I wish you luck. I would love to give you some sound advice, but this is way off the map for me. Anyway, best wishes from an internet stranger. If nothing else, OP, it seems like your dad is a really good guy who is going to be there for you however things shake out with Rick. I get that Rick wants to connect with you because he thinks that he's your bio dad, which is a lot less creepy than what it could have been, but that doesn't make him a good person. He's still the kind of guy who'd have an affair with your mom while she's married to your dad. Just be careful. Not the asshole, and I'm glad you have more info. Sounds like Rick might be okay, just a bit awkward, but trying to make up for things. Maybe it would be worth giving him a chance, but that's up to you. Really, this sounds like a mess your mum created and sustained. I understand why you want to be away from her. It is possible that Rick has mixed feelings about your mum and that he might want a relationship with you more than with her. Hard to tell. Anyway, it's your choice how to approach all this. Take your time, as this will take time. Rick's behavior definitely seems a lot less creepy once you know that he might be OP's bio dad. Best thing I can suggest OP is therapy. Someone trained to help you navigate this horrendous situation. I'm also wondering if Mum was feeding Rick a whole different story about OP and the relationships he has with the rest of the family, but as he figured out or found out, she's a big ol' lying liar, is realizing it's better to back off and let things happen naturally once everyone knows the full story. For my money, Rick's still not that great. Rick had an affair with a married woman who had children. The second that he found out that he could have a relationship with a kid who might be his son, he instantly started crossing boundaries and pushing intimacy, and that's not creepy, thank God, but it does show that Rick's instincts are to think about what Rick wants and not what the people around him need, even his own potential children. He does sound like he's capable of listening and apologizing sincerely, thankfully, so I'm hoping he is capable of growth, but he's still an asshole. I think OP is wise to keep him at a distance until he's ready to consider more communication, if that ever happens. Until Rick has proven that he's not just a total asshole, if that ever happens. He has the father that he wants and needs already. And now back up to the post, we have an edit. Hi, thank you all for all of your comments and even the funny ones. Y'all made me smile and I guess I needed that. I really liked the Mary Poppins one and the references to the Guardians of the Galaxy. He may be your father, but he ain't your daddy. I can't express how much y'all have helped me to appreciate the family that I already have, and how blood doesn't equal family. Thank you again for that. I wish I had answers for your questions related to the reason of my existence. As I said, I haven't talked to Rick since that night, and I guess I didn't have the courage to ask. This whole thing has drained me, and I'm not sure if I even want to know. Guess that I'll only make things worse, that my perception I have of my mom, as if it wasn't as bad as it is now, and also in terms of Rick. If she lied to him or not, or why she neglected me for years. For the moment, I don't want to know. I don't think it will add something meaningful to me, so I guess I'd leave it like that for now. One thing I may be doing is getting tested to have a complete medical record. So thank you again for your comments. They really have impacted me. Some made me cry happy tears. Our next post is titled, "Today I messed up by sending a call from the International Space Station to voicemail." So this happened 2 days ago, on Sunday. A friend of mine is currently on his second mission to the ISS. I saw a call come in on my iPhone, and the caller ID said US Gov. I first had that thought or feeling you get when the principal calls you to their office and said, crap, what did I do that I thought I got away with, but maybe I didn't? I was in the middle of something with a bunch of people and showed them what it said on my phone and everyone was like, don't answer it. Between everyone's suggestion and my gut feeling of being in trouble, I sent it to voicemail. Turns out, it was my buddy calling from space. I had a chance to speak to someone that wasn't on Earth and I screwed it up. First thing he said in the voicemail was, you probably saw a call from the US Gov and turned it down. I know he'll call again, but damn, I feel like an idiot right now. And now in the comments, I feel like it's almost cooler that you have a voicemail from someone calling from space since you can save it. And OP says, that's true. Good news that I'll have that and we'll still be able to talk to him, so yeah, win-win. Don't just save it in the phone. My grandma had a voicemail from my dad/her son from a week before he died, but she didn't tell anyone and tried to keep it saved on her landline phone by listening and resaving. This was really before recording tech was owned by everyone. Would be nice to hear my dad's voice again, but there are no videos or recordings anywhere. The fact that he knew why you didn't answer tells me him and others have probably had the same experience one too many times and know the drill. A famous French film director had the same story a few months ago. He missed a call from the ISS from Thomas Pesquet, a French astronaut and a huge fan of his work. He was calling to congratulate him for his last movie that he got the chance to see from the space station. And now on to the update. He called back on Saturday. Phew, what a fascinating and amazing experience. Call quality was as good as a regular call, but there was a slight delay that made natural conversation a little difficult. I asked where he was currently flying over, and he said the western coast of Africa. Then I asked how the ride was, and he said smooth and awesome, as his first trip was on a Soyuz. He said the second stage acceleration was incredible and that they hit over 4 Gs, noting that it's surprising the thing stays together. Then at Seco, they were thrown into their straps from the deceleration and bam, orbit. Roughly 8.5 minutes after launch. They were coming up on a couple of days off, not because of Memorial Day, just coincidence, and the conversation was only 12 minutes long, but we had to end it because of the satellite issue that was about to happen. The exact reason is out of my wheelhouse. Interestingly, the call came from the exact same relay number. We joked about some funny stuff that happened when I went out for the launch. He got a kick out of the situation with the first call that I shared here, and said that that is a common occurrence. I didn't expect the call to be as short as it was, so I forgot to tell him how much the original post blew up, but I'm definitely going to email him about it. I just saw today that there are a bunch of articles online and a few podcasts that mention the post. The internet is a fascinating place sometimes. And now in the comments, I never even thought of astronauts being able to call friends to have conversations about their flight to space the same way that I tell mine that I landed safe in Vegas. Wild. Thank you for the update and treating this moment with the reverence it deserves. In my personal life, I interact with a bunch of people who work at NASA, and oh my god, they're so blasé about the coolest stuff. Talking about this or that conversation they had with an astronaut or celebrity so nonchalantly, I almost want to scream. People can accept almost anything as normal, given enough exposure. It's the only way you can cope with it. If you're starstruck all the time, you can't function properly, so at some point, the coolest stuff becomes normal for them. Alright, and that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, let me know what you thought of it down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.